What is up, everybody? JT Best Ball here. By the time you see this video, I'll be in Vegas. Your boy will be playing some poker, but I just wanted to stop in and say thank you. When I started this streaming journey, I didn't really know what to expect. You guys in the best ball community, you guys rock. From everybody, from the other streamers to everyone that hangs out in my chat every night, especially hopping in my drafts. Sincerely, I just want to say thank you. You guys make this fun. We don't plan on stopping anytime soon. 6 nights a week normally. You know where to find us at the nightcap. I thought it'd be cool since I won't be live Friday to leave you guys with this video with two of my favorite moments from, let's say, the last couple weeks of streaming. Sorry in advance, they're not edited. It's just kind of something I'm throwing together real quick before I leave and go out of town. So I do apologize for that. The first one is from a couple weeks ago when me and the Candyman and Hartman were all together and I went on a rant about why I have a 0% Bucky Irvin. Here it is. The theme for tonight: three players to never draft in best ball. And we brought some notes. My player, I'm assuming you guys came with one. It's going to surprise some people, but I am a stone cold zero on the one, the only Bucky Irvin. Here's my case why. All right. Like it's crazy to me that look at the guys that go right in front of him. The running backs that go right in front of him, they're dudes that we expect to be, even little old Achan. We expect him to be the dude. He's going to be running the ball, probably their primary goal line back, probably catching most, if not all, of their passes out of the backfield. Yes, Tampa is a really good offense. Nothing against Tampa. They're a great offense. But every other stream, I just heard Who Hames today when he was on with the guy that made the draft or pass thing or is part of it. I don't know. I don't remember his name. But I just heard Who Hames today make a comment about, well, we know that White is still going to be involved as their main pass catcher. And so it's like, that's part of my argument right there. Like, why are we drafting a guy who is not going to be the main dude, And you can say, okay, Tampa's a good offense. They're going to be winning games. I came correct. We got some notes. Let's just compare a little bit of their schedule from last year to this year. If you really look through the game log, every game that Bucky killed it last year, it was games where they were up a lot. They were just trying to, eat the clock out, run it out. You're talking about a schedule last year that included 2 games against New Orleans, of course, 2 games against Carolina, who happened to have the worst run defense going off of fantasy points given up to running backs. 2 games against Carolina, the second worst points against running backs was the New York Giants. They played them. San Francisco gave up the third most points to running backs. Yep, they played them. Dallas gave up the 10th most. They played them. Those were some of the games where Bucky was just killing it last year. But let's look at just their early season schedule this year. Because, yeah, they still play the New Orleans twice and the Carolina twice. But for a late second round pick, we want a guy that's like killing it all year, right? They got to play the Texans defense this year pretty early in the season, too. They have to play the Jets defense this year. They have to play Philly's defense this year. They have to play Detroit's defense this year. They have to play Buffalo's defense this year. Those right there sound like games to me that, like, it's going to be close. And if anything, it's probably 50-50 because they need White in there on pass downs. Definitely not games that they're just going to probably be, stomping the other team and Bucky just running wild and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. It's like I'm a stone cold zero on him. If you look, okay, he's a rookie. So I wrote this down too. Like, not even excluding like the first few games of the year. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I have another one for you. This next one is actually just for a couple nights ago. So it was late. It was my third draft, and I started to go in depth and explain my Roshan Johnson pick that I had just made. I'm kind of into Roshan where he goes. Y'all know, you've heard me. I think he could end up being the Demont of the offense there in Chicago. I also had Gibbs on the team, and I saw him at the top of my running back room. It was late. It was the third draft. Somewhere along the way, the correlation in my brain between Detroit, Ben Johnson, what started off as a Roshan Johnson bull talk turned into me going off about the Detroit Lions offensive line. Let me flip over for you guys real quick. Roshan on this team for his week 16 and 17 upside. We got to get there too, right? So if Roshan gives me a usable week because he falls in the end zone, maybe because they play less talented defenses in week 8 and week 11 when my two stud running backs are off, I would be more than happy with that from Roshan. Maybe even a third or fourth week here and there as a flex because he falls in the end zone. He's a really good pass blocker. Don't sleep on that. He is a extremely good pass blocker. Detroit's offensive line is not going to be the same as it was. They lost their all world center. They lost a really, really, really good guard. I mean, they are not going to be the same team that they have been, killing folks out there, toying with people, letting tackles throw passes and catch passes. That's not them this year. I'm sorry, I don't believe that at all. They lost their defensive coordinator. They lost their offensive coordinator. I'm not saying they're going to be a bad team, but I'm saying they are going to be in a lot more games that are close games that they're really having to, fight through, maybe even playing from behind in. And I apologize, y'all. It is getting really late. And because I'm making the Ben Johnson and Roshan correlation in my head, I went off on a Detroit tangent when I was trying to talk about Roshan. That happens sometimes when it's your third draft as a streamer and you've been talking for almost 3 hours straight. So I'm not even going to act like that didn't happen. It just did happen. Before we get out of here, also, I just want to talk to you guys about my boy Lamar. If you are not drafting the Ravens, take this as a public service announcement. You need to start grabbing Lamar. You need to get more Ravens on your best ball teams. I just think they are going to be on a mission. You know, Lamar has come close now several years. He's talked about in the offseason how he's hungrier than ever. He was showing up at OTA stuff, never showed up at OTA stuff in the past. The weapons, I mean, they have the same cast of characters from last year when Lamar, let me share this screen while we talk about it some. Lamar stepped it up last year after finally showing people, yes, I can indeed throw the football like a real quarterback back in 2023, 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, averaged 21 fantasy points a game, not to mention the 800 rushing yards with 5 TDs on top of that. Got a new offensive coordinator. We'll talk about him in a minute. Todd Munkin. Sorry, don't know why I called him Greg. 4,100 yards passing to go with his 900 yards rushing. 41 passing touchdowns from the guy who they said couldn't throw the ball a couple years ago. an average of 25 fantasy points a game. And when you really look through his game log, I mean, what you're getting is just elite consistency damn near every week. I mean, he had the 1 week against Pittsburgh where it was only the 24th fantasy quarterback, 15 points per game. You know what? That's why you have more than one quarterback, right? Maybe your other guy. The way I like to play Lamar teams is I like to keep it at two QBs, and I like to get me another quarterback, though, as my second, who I feel comfortable with. So, the one time a year Lamar might drop a 15, or, this week wasn't that great with the 19. All right, maybe your other guy goes off that week, but just look at the consistency of 20 to 30-point fantasy weeks that Lamar Jackson is going to put up for you. I mean, even Josh Allen had a lot more duds. He had some nice spike weeks too. Nothing wrong with Josh Allen. Part of it is Monken, right? So, like, I went back before, say, a month ago when I really decided to make this huge Lamar stand. I went back and did some work on Monken when he was offensive coordinator, even way back in 2011 at Ohio State, or no, not Ohio State. I'm sorry, I forget where it was. I didn't write it down. But in 2011 and 2012, at a pretty decent sized school, he had the third and the fifth ranked offenses that year. Flash forward, I think he was a head coach somewhere in between there in college, but flash forward to the job that got him the Ravens job. 2021, he had the eighth best offense in Georgia. 2022, he had the fifth best offense at Georgia. Last year, in his first year in the pros with Lamar, they finished as the seventh overall offense, I believe. And so with me, I'm like, all right, they didn't lose really anybody of keynote. They added in DeAndre Hopkins. Say what you want about him. He's old, yes. I personally don't think he's totally washed. I think the knee injury was affecting him last year. But still, it's adding to what they already had, and they didn't really lose anybody. Flowers is there, Bateman is there, Andrews is there, um, Likely is still there, Derrick Henry's still there, taking pressure off with the run game. And now going into year two, you are just going to be able to add layers and layers and layers and, little wrinkles to the offense because whereas last year, all of camp, all early in the season, they're just building the building blocks. They're just, getting the basics of the offense down, kind of going from there, adding little wrinkles as they go throughout the year. Going into this year, that's all there. So right away during camp, they can really start adding layers to this offense. Monken's had a full year to figure out exactly how to use all of his pieces and everything. So if you're not drafting Ravens, if you're not drafting Lamar, pull him up earlier in the third, get him late third, but you better get Lamar. Let that be your warning. The dude is going to win people lots of money in best ball this year. I'm going to leave you guys with one of my favorite little My Guy clips, and it is none other than.
Now I would just like to introduce y'all to the man, the myth, the legend, the MVP front runner. If anybody else got to say something different about that, then come see me.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. If you're raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
Anyways, guys, right about now, I'm in a poker tournament in Vegas. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Sunday night, whenever we get back, it will be a viewer appreciation night. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's a new little thing that I'm doing. All of you guys, it's been in my chats throughout this past week. I've taken note. I know who you are. Show up Sunday night. We're going to do a draft first, maybe a puppy, something like that. Then, after that one's over, I will randomly pick one of the viewers that are entered into it, if you are there, if you're present, have to be present to win. I'll ask you to throw me 3 or 4 guys in the chat that you're really in on, maybe a couple guys that you're not in on, so we can try to make it, have a little bit of your team feel. I'm going to get in a sprint draft. I'm going to draft it, try to put it together with some of the players you get me to stay away from and to go after. At the end of it, I'm going to throw your name on it, just like you were a guest on my stream. At the end of the year, if that lineup cashes, you will get 50% equity on the lineup, just like all of the guests do that come on the stream. Just my way of saying thanks. That's going to be the new thing pretty much every Sunday from here on out. So be sure to tune in throughout the week. The more active you are in my streams, the more active you are in my chats, gives you a greater chance to be one of those people that we select. Anyways, guys, have a great weekend. I'm going to go win some poker. Talk to you when I get back.